on House of Tanya, camera ready. We are trying to shoot a haul in the living room, so I thought that we might hop on here and use some new products to get what? Camera ready. So we do have these CoverGirl True Blend contour palettes. One is marked medium, but all the tones are pretty close together. And then one has no marking. I'm guessing from the paleness of the highlight that this might be the light palette, but I could be wrong. It could be dark. So we're gonna get into these. We were fortunate enough to get our hands on the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer in clear, as if it should come in any other color besides clear, but we're gonna work on this. We'd also gotten these e.l.f. Putty Primer samples. And they're the Poreless Putty Primer, the Matte Putty Primer, the Luminous Putty Primer, but more to the point, we had gotten our hands on this clever Putty Primer applicator brush, which is so cute and small, and it's like a dense kind of stippling brush, and it has this little scoop, which scares me because it seems like if you need this scoop to get the putty out, is it cement? Who knows, but time to throw the packaging on the floor. And we've got this ready to go. We had gotten hold of this really adorable Real Techniques little mini kit of brushes on the go. It's a Natural Glow mini kit. Includes a mini contour brush, which I guess is this one. Gently tapered, soft focus powder contour application under cheekbones. Under cheekbones or on cheekbones? There's a few theories out there. The mini shading brush, which I guess is this one. It's short, dense bristles, build cream or powder color, and intensify coverage. And then finally, the mini fine liner with the little one. Fine cut bristles create precise, crisp lines with liquid or gel eyeliners. And this is a pretty thick little brush. Maybe it'll become more of a fine point when it's wet with liner, but we might get into this. Packaging also goes on the floor. How are you doing today? You know, I heard the forecast say it was going to be windy, and I had, you know, being from Arkansas, I will hang laundry outside in the sunshine. So I had thought to bring it in before I heard the wind howling outside. You know, you can't let your chonies blow away, because after all, you did work hard to get your hands on them. But yeah, this Maddie Ziegler palette, the Imagination palette from Morphe. What a beautiful cover. You may know, I think, Maddie from her work with Sia. And certainly I know lots of people who love Sia's music and her interesting music videos. There's been perhaps a kiss of controversy about their relationship, which Maddie and her sister describe as a godmom. And in fact, one of the shades in this palette is called Godmom. And when you're in Hollywood, you know, it certainly is important to have someone who can help you out and look out for you. And if that's what Sia is to young Maddie, all to the good. But these shade names are really adorable. Butterfly Fantasy, Maddie Girl, M3, not sure what that means, to the moon and back. Crushed Angel, Latte, Kenny, Dancing Queen like Butter, which is appropriate, this bright yellow. 5, which is this bright blue. She Insists, Mint, Pantera. Posse, spelled like another word, but Possy, a dark purple shimmer, right? So you've got some glitters like To the Moon, and you've got some shimmers even in these dark shades. ASAP, Godfather is also a very exciting, more of a glitter than a shimmer. But you've got all kinds of things going on in here, so we're gonna prime and then contour and get our face together so that we can go through all of the clever items that we've been able to get our hands on in the last several weeks. I hope that you've been being careful with the Omarion panorama. You know, I thought we might do something strange and use our Dermablend Leg and Body Makeup. It's a buildable liquid body foundation with sunscreen SPF 25. See if it will work to marry our contour and highlight shades together on our face. We pulled out these very intense red chrome colored eyeshadow brushes from BH Cosmetics. I understand they are numbered. Not that that means anything, but they are beautiful. They feel great in the hand. You're very visually able to keep them part of the set, and you know right away what brand they are because they have such a resting and strong look, and they're very sturdy. You know, they're pale bristles like the Jeffree Star Morphe brushes. I can't seem to find any right about now, but we're going to be working with another one of our squishy silicone sponges. We do have a damp beauty sponge at the ready, but this is really more for if we make mistakes and there's too much product. But yeah, I have been, like many of you, following this drama with Luschious Massacr and ChimePhilly, who's been making some videos critical of her. And I am interested in all of it. I do appreciate Luschious Massacr and her contribution to the YouTube community, both from a beauty point of view, but you know, when I was in quarantine lockdown and watching a lot of YouTube and really figuring out like, who the heck is Jeffree Star? Why is he going to the Dollar General or the Dollar Tree or whatever wearing that? I was concerned for his safety. And you know, watching Luschious Massacr and RichLux talk about Helga the Hog. To this day, I send people the Helga the Hog videos because it was just such a juicy, great story, right? So I'm here for the story times, I'm here for the tea, and I'm also interested if there is something concerning going on between ChimePhilly. ShelbyE has discussed what Luscious feels and what her fans feel about ChimePhilly, but you know, I listened to a lot of the ChimePhilly videos yesterday as I was like making kale salad and cleaning up. Like, of course I'm interested in anyone's fitness journey, healthy eating. It's something we all struggle with. But you know, I myself and another YouTuber named Dirty Princess, we are out here struggling with our makeup, right? And we are looking at Luscious Massacr and Joella Puss and even RichLux for, you know, some insights and understanding about new products and how to use them and contouring the chin. And, you know, even if they're not talking about it, we are looking and we're seeing the elaborate eye looks and wondering, is that something, you know, for me in my lifestyle and what I do on and off camera. But, you know, I feel like I find it hard to find that content from Luscious because there's so much more, I guess, lifestyle posts. Not really a lot of vlogs, some vlogs, like at the cantina and whatnot recently, but I live for the story times. I'm interested in her history of, you know, makeup business, learning it, doing it, working with Shangela, who's incredibly lovely. I met her on the set of A Star is Born in the drag bar scene with Lady Gaga, which was amazing, and she was amazing and is amazing, and you know, everyone's amazing. Look, and if people have beef and drama, that's certainly what fuels the engine of YouTube. It's worth talking about. But let me make this plea, let me make this plea, Miss Luscious Massacr. We need you to be on the regular with the beauty education. We're out here struggling, and you have knowledge that could help us, and we would tune in for that. You know, like, we're interested in the looks, the wigs, the clothes, all of it, what you're eating, how you're taking care of yourself, your emotional harmonics. It's all fine. And, you know, just as it's fine for Shelby and ChimePhilly to discuss what you do, good, bad, questionable, indifferent. It's part of being a public figure. So, you know, nothing to cry over, right? You see rappers going to the airport with guns over and over again to get what? Public notice and publicity. And it's free. So, you know, take it. If you can capitalize on it, If, you know, a picture with Jeffree Star helps move the needle on your career, it's all to the good. If people want to say X and Y about it, believe me, there's no one who's in the public eye, there's no one who works in an office or on set. It doesn't matter how well you do your work or how good you are at it, there's always going to be someone in the corner talking crap and criticizing you. But as long as they're doing it from a position of observing how successful you're being, that's where you want to be. You know, whether or not you're making tips or getting super chats on YouTube Live, that's, I mean, that's the business. That's the engine that makes it worth investing your time and your energy into doing it. So there's no shame in that. And, you know, I think we all just want to see you and other people succeed and go further with all of it, right? But none of that is to run you or anyone else off the platform. Certainly death threats and stalking people or doxing them is inappropriate. This is a Sephora CC Eye Cream and Concealer. We're just going to dot that into the obvious places. I have, you know, some under eye darkness from the thinness of the skin, right? And just some under eye darkness on the other side, around the corners of the nose. Yes, this is my natural face. There's no plastic surgery, in case anyone is wondering. But yeah, I'm, you know, trying to get better at my makeup and more efficient at it, you know, but also use the sizable stash that I continued to collect and, you know, kind of get over holding on to products that don't work the best for me, and not, you know, just sort of being, you know, lazy and unthoughtful about it, right? So if this concealer, which is eye cream and concealer, is providing some, you know, basic highlight, then, you know, I think that we can use our very flexible silicone sponge and kind of dab it gently around, right? Not too aggressively, let it dry down a bit, but really get the brightness where we want it to be. Really get a stripe down the middle of the nose that we'll be able to contour around, right? Hopefully using smaller brushes than we used yesterday. But, you know, our interest is to be able to, if not professionally, then ably do our makeup in a way that's flattering so that, you know, no one is clowning us, because, you know, our skill level is not that high and we're definitely in a place where we can be clowned or critiqued. But that's, you know, that's the risk you take when you come onto social media and you let people see what you're doing, right? People aren't that nice. People have a lot of fun making fun. I done a strip skate video years ago through Seth Francois and Candy Co. And I worked with Amanda Carrera. And, you know, I had no idea about any of, you know, YouTube or any of that stuff. But I saw we got like 500,000 views pretty quickly in a few days. And a lot of the comments were really hateful. And they were hateful about, you know, the hair that I wore in the video. Never mind that I stripped down to my thong underwear. But, you know, I'm sure people are young, they're anonymous, and it's fun to, you know, make fun of people, you know, and it kind of was a little bit terrifying. And then I retreated back into, you know, the world of professional acting on professional sets where you don't have that dialogue, right? That I was not tagged in it, so no one could actually follow me to my social media and, you know, harass me or insult me. But, you know, even the brother that was doing video reviews for Thrasher magazine at the time, a brother, was making similarly offensive jokes at my expense and over, you know, at the expense of the, you know, kind of like afro type hair that I was wearing in the video, right? That was it was a low blow, it was a cheap shot, whatever. But, you know, it's the internet. This is why it's fun for people, right? If people wanted to just not have that dialogue. They could go on other kinds of media and it's a closed loop. They can watch, but they can't talk back. You know, there's apps out there where you can't talk back. And I think people seek out places where they can talk back. And maybe they're not going to be the nicest. And maybe they're not going to be all lovey-dovey. But, you know, I think we're getting more of a sense of what these people are really like than probably anyone in their private life knows, right? Just using our beauty blender to lighten up the texture that this product left. In heavy application, it does end up looking a little textured, a little bit too much, right? We want a narrow stripe down the middle of our nose. We don't want a big thick stripe. And as we've learned, you know, it's fine to not want to waste product, but what's not fine is letting a lot of thick layers of makeup stay in place if it's not, if you don't just calm it down, if you don't just make it look like a reasonable amount of makeup, then you can end up in a clown place, which, you know, some folks like RichLux, you know, I remember when I first saw RichLux, I actually commented, I was like, why are you putting those triangles under your eyes? You look really crazy. You should stop that, and you should just, you know, have like a regular face. Your regular face is fine. You don't need to I was so serious because I had no idea about, you know, Jeffree Star and the amount of makeup and the shaved brows and the wigs and all that stuff. Like, you know, I'm just trapped in the house in quarantine listening to my neighbors' playlists for months, and we you know, it was kind of like a new world, a new set of people with its own aesthetics that, you know, I didn't know about. And Rich was very gracious, and he was like, no girl. He's like, no girl, this is my look. And I kind of got used to it, and I listened to him more, and I still listen to him, but you know, I'm always concerned, like, oh, is Jeffree Star that bad? Should I not use the cheap makeup brushes that I was able to get when his, shall we say, star fell after his scandals? I think I'm going to keep using them. You know, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not trying to break the bank. You know, the price of makeup brushes and tools is exorbitant, and I'm not there yet. I have some higher end brushes, but I don't think that I'm practiced enough to make that my daily brush. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out my, you know, protocols for doing this and getting product on my face and not, you know, having things go terribly wrong. You know, what we can do now is think about this NYX eyeshadow base. Since this is a rather pale palette from Miss Maddie Ziegler, and we are more of a medium toned person, right? This product from Sephora, this eye cream and concealer, CC eye cream and concealer, is pale, right? But we want to maybe create an eyeshadow base that is also in that pale place so that we can get the best color payoff on our skin tone that we can, right? And what's great about this sponge is it's super flexy, right? Some of the silicone sponges are thinner, some of them are more, just dragging that under the eye for any under the eye makeup. You know, some of them are thinner and stiffer, and they don't give you the, what I like to call it, it's like a finger but with no bone, right? It gives you that amount of flex and amount of kind of precision without getting your actual finger dirty. You can save your finger for emergencies. So if that is the eyeshadow base, should we dig in and prime the rest of our face before we get in on contour? I'm not a big primer person. I don't tend to wear so much makeup for so long that I need it, but you know, I figured this would be a great time. This was certainly an exciting looking new product, cruelty-free and vegan. Our friends at e.l.f. Keep makeup in place with this clear gel primer full of skin-loving ingredients like hyaluronic acid for skin that looks and feels its best. Applied to face before makeup using your fingertips to pat into skin. The warmth of your fingers will help the product melt into skin for even application. Allow 30 seconds to set before makeup. Interesting. We do have other things on our face. We took a shower. We used some moisturizers and oils. And then we, of course, got some of the CC eye cream and concealer all over our face. What we're trying to do is, with products that aren't completely horrible, we're trying to use them up, all right, and not waste them. That's like kind of a half to a quarter pump. I don't want to go too crazy, but I guess we want to put it in all the places that we don't put eyeshadow primer. So forehead, cheek. I'm not maybe putting the thickest application on, but I'm just stippling it around just to see. It has that quick drying feel that could be alcohol, and that's troubling. But maybe that's what you have to deal with when you're dealing with primers, or at least this primer, and with setting sprays that seem to, you know, have alcohol in the mix, and that's how they dry down fast without making your makeup drip. But I do feel, living in the desert here in Hollywood, when I, you know, have to go to work, we are not trying to dry our skin out. We are not trying to do everything possible to make our skin look as dry as possible. We're the opposite. We're trying to keep a mister bottle. We're trying to stay moist. So that seems to have dried down really quickly. External use only. Stop use if signs of irritation. I like it. It's green. It's green like the Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. I guess this will go live in the little recycled plastic cup where our primers live. I have been trying to organize things, so, you know, respect the game. So if this is our eyelids primed, right, and we have our beautiful chrome brushes from BH Cosmetics at the ready, I think it might be time to dig into this exciting palette. Do you like my shirt? I got it at Marshall's for $6. That's somewhere that RichLux and I both like to shop. Probably Shelby too. You know, $6 is the nice price, right? That's a thrift store price without having to be at the thrift store. So maybe we should experiment with the pale colors. They seem like they could be too pale, but let's give it a whirl. If we go over our entire lid with Butterfly Fantasy, and sadly we have to mess up the little butterfly imprint. This is a quality palette with its own mirror, like that, right? So maybe we can put this mirror aside. We are doing our eyes first. That's not what we tend to do. We have not done anything to our brows, but we can certainly change that. You know, I am a big whack a lot more to keep my brows in place. I'm not someone who doesn't have brows, but I am someone who, you know, I would like to keep my brows groomed. I don't have to do a lot of drawing, but, you know, these weak, quote, soap products, or, you know, other things that just seem to slime the brow, and then the brow just does what it wants or does nothing different. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can actually get this product into your brows. It feels like it's in your brow, right? And if you press it, it does give you a little bit of a lamination feel, other side, right? Just respecting your brow, maybe wanting to shape your brow, maybe get the tail of the brow into place in a way that is flattering. And plus, the one thing I will tell you is that this product will pull your brows out, not in a bad way, but it's like it puts a little tension on the brow, so you may end up with some brow hairs in the applicator. But, you know, I rock with this product a long way. I think I got this at Dollar Tree. I think we have Dollar Tree in California. But, you know, just using this Essence Eyebrow Designer, it has its own little brush on top, you know, gently brushing the brows up at a diagonal, right? Giving you that fluffy brow look. Nothing crazy. This way you can start seeing any sparse areas. You know, I'm not someone who feels like I have to like draw a line underneath my brows for my brows to be obvious. I have dark hair relative to the color of my skin. This is a dark brown pencil. I don't, and many people don't recommend going way darker than your brow color, or way lighter, but just a little sparse area here. This pencil is not the greatest. I do like to suggest a longer tail to my eyebrow. I just feel like it makes things look more exciting. Maybe give a stronger arch than was there before. Stronger arch, and then a longer tail, right? With this brown pencil that might not be as close to my own brow color, but you know, if things go in a questionable way, you can just use your brush to brush it out. Brush it out. You can use the back of it to squish it down and what they call laminate. I don't think that looks terrible. Other side. Flatten those brows out. Stick them down with that wax and laminate, right? This isn't as extreme as, you know, some of the people are using, what do you call it? Eyelash glue to glue their brows down. I don't really feel like it's that serious. If my brows get unruly, I don't think anyone's gonna like kick me out of work or out of the dinner date or anything of that sort. So we're trying to focus on putting our products back where we found them and get into this eyeshadow, right? We're primed. Let's make sure everything's looking in order. Do a little primer crease. Stamp that out. Other side, stamp that out, right? And like any cream product that is our primer, we can use maybe not the fluffiest brush that we can save for blending, maybe not the most precise one, but this fluffy, almost flat one, right? It is a number 1. Maybe that's significant that it's a number 1. And we can get into this Butterfly Fantasy color from our friend Maddie Ziegler, right? Getting that into the product, messing up that little butterfly, and then working across the crease. You know, we've learned from our friends at Sephora that have some really interesting holding our brush at the tip so that we apply the least pressure, that we should think about maybe not small circles, but patting product onto our lid so that it's at once setting that primer and hopefully preventing any additional creasing since we rubbed it out with our silicone sponge, right? And it is looking very pale and stylized. We can take that up to the brow bone, right? Think about whether you want to run that across the lash line, again, to get rid of any eyeshadow base creasing, right? Other side, we're messing with this pale color and then going on the other side. Can you see me? And then starting at the outer corner of the eye and just patting that across the entire eyelid all the way up to the brow, right? We want this palette to get its best shot. We want the colors to show. We want to figure out if this palette that may be for people more of European descent, will it work for us with our skin tone and our heritage, right? Is this powdery look something that we can work with, or will we pass this palette on to one of our paler sisters? We shall see. But I was definitely curious enough because there's also some other products that I have from her line that are this? Elf, Electric Mood. No, this isn't her. This is Tove Lo. This is something else, but I'm curious to try this as well because it's some sort of highlighter, a glass skin highlighter. I'm sorry, I thought it was from the same person. But in any case, that's the color Butterfly Fantasy. So if from here, we're looking at our eyes and we're thinking about our crease and a transition color, right? Looking at this palette, we could go to this peach shade, Maddie Girl, or we could go to a darker shade, M3, or even to Latte. Maybe we should mess with Latte and that would let us go darker for our outer V, right? So if we've used this brush and now we are trying to get into a shade, maybe we can use the same brush and then make a crease that's higher than our natural crease since we are a hooded eye person. So taking this brush, should we even try to clean it off? Does it matter? I think it doesn't. Get into this Latte, right? See, Luschious Massacr could advise me on whether I'm doing right or wrong, right? And this is us doing our makeup before, our eye makeup before the rest so that we don't mess up our, what do you call it? Foundation and all that. So thinking about creating a crease that's higher than our natural crease because we have a hooded eye, right? And patting that color on into a shape that goes up toward the tail end of that brow, right? We put one little pat on there and I think it's looking pretty. Let's intensify a little bit, right? Lifting, thinking about that cat eye shape and then coming across that entire lid and building a higher, more heavy-duty crease. I don't hate it, do you? And this actually, Latte is getting the skin of our eye back into a shade that makes sense given our complexion color, right? You can hear the wind outside ruffling the leaves in the palm tree, and I think you might be able to see the palm tree swaying. But that's life in the desert, palm trees and wind and 40 degrees at night, and you know, I think that's an extremely pretty color, this Latte color. And now we've gone over the Butterfly Fantasy to create a kind of like warm, taupey moment that would not be out of place if I were playing a newscaster or even if I were a cop. This color is almost imperceptible as makeup because it's not shimmery and it's not extra. It almost looks natural. Which is, you know, a lot of ladies who work and live regular lives or work in roles that are, you know, regular people, not on stage. Just dragging that under the eye a bit. We had lost some lashes due to the application of a set of very heavy, long, false lashes that were glued onto our lids just, I guess, after Christmas. Now we're wanting the precision of the outer corner. So what shall it be? Maybe this pencil style brush. But look how pretty these are. These red chrome. So exciting. BH Cosmetics, I hope you survive Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So if we want to go darker than Latte, we have a few options. We have the green, we have this deep red, we have Crushed, which is sort of a pretty kind of salmon color. We do have a black, Pantera, but maybe we should go, well, we have Kenny, which is kind of rust. Let's mess with Kenny. Kenny has a heart. I'd like to know what that means, but we're going to get into there, mess up that heart, and then, again, hooded eye, stamp the shape of that outer corner, right? Going up into that crease that we laid down with the Latte color. Turning our brush just to deliver all the color payoff that we have on that brush and seeing if it's buildable, right? That's our outer corner. Dipping in again. Outer corner. That creates drama and excitement when you blink your eye and you look around. It's not just a regular old eye. It's not an eye that someone who is living in the male gender might have, whether they were born female or male, but your gender choice can be, you know, enhanced by your choices about makeup, whether to wear it, how to wear it. You know, even the gentlemen on TikTok are demonstrating how to do a natural concealer, a natural bronzer, even if you are male gender presenting. Does that make sense? Makeup is for everyone, especially on television. I'll never forget when I first saw, you know, certain comedians made up to perform on stage, and it was like thick foundation, like heavy duty, full coverage. They looked like they were made out of plastic. And it's not because of anything but having to look healthy and beautiful on camera, right? And that's what makeup does. Like, it makes you look enhanced, healthy, and beautiful. I think that's a very pretty color. Other side, right? Looking into the mirror, patting that into place, outer V, opening and closing that eye, thinking about a lifting gesture, tapping in again, getting that just above our natural crease, and really intensifying that outer V. And again, even if you watch makeup tutorials from like the 80s, like Playboy bunnies and models from the period who were doing makeup tutorials, they all talk about the drama of the outer crease. So we're not doing anything crazy. We're not doing anything that is unexpected. What we are doing is using an exciting new palette from a very lovely young woman who is really being an entrepreneur and a, you know, a sort of nascent icon, if you will. And this color choice on my complexion is quite pretty, right? I prefer to keep color above my eyes, not really below my eyes. I know a lot of people, especially South Korea, there's some interest in, you know, creating shadow under the eye. I always feel like that is like a kind of volume and a placement that I don't love, although I am open to experimenting. But in any case, outer V, flattering, pretty. We've got 3 colors from this palette on our eyes, and it's looking beautiful. Now, our friend at Sephora had said the logic of dealing with a hooded eye, maybe we'll kiss it just under the outer lash line, other side, right, is to create some darkness and depth on the outer third, possibly enhancing that with a liner, but then stamping a shimmer on the inner 2/3 of the eye to create light and openness to the eye. So, should we use the same brush and get maybe this Go Home color, which is like a maroon here? Maybe get that. Maybe this brush is too big. Maybe we should use like a flat, almost like an eyeliner brush. And we certainly do have one, right? Very thoughtfully created this set of brushes. So if we tap into Go Home instead of black, right, and get that on, this is a very stiff and powerful brush. Then we can think about where the crease of our eye is and building a line that doesn't violate that crease. So looking at our eye open, right? Looking into this mirror straight ahead and stamping a line that just kisses that there crease, right? It's a very stiff, precise brush. Again, extending it, but giving us a very sharply defined line that then we can build in toward the lash line. Drama. I like it. Let's see, right? And you don't have to take that color all the way across your eye. You just have to do it enough to establish some depth and darkness and volume at that lash line. And I think these colors all work beautifully together. Really beautifully. Look at that. I almost feel like we can use this for an inner corner flick. I'm afraid of it getting messy, but you know, it's almost got a little smokiness. You can kind of fade it out a little and make it a little bit of a gradient. But wow, I am impressed, Miss Maddie Ziegler and Morphe. Let's do the other side. And I'm also impressed by this brush. This is a very nice, stiff brush, right? So looking in the mirror and trying to create symmetry. Stamp, not bad. And then building that back toward the lash line. Let's dip again. This color is incredible. Go home. It's like a dark maroon purple. Just creep that back toward the lash line. I'm not unhappy with that. Maybe we should gamble on an inner corner flick. Stamp that in. How's that? I'm not mad. Other side, right? Don't want that to point down. We want it to point in and extend our eye. Not someone else's eye, our eye, right? Do we kiss that along the entire lash line and create some sort of unified look? Maddie Ziegler, I'm so surprised that this color palette can work for my complexion in such a flattering way. You did something here, girl. Look at that. I can never get my eyeliner exactly the same. This one is a little bit straighter. This one is a little bit curvier. But, you know, the color intensity is beautiful. And I feel like the gesture is very beautiful. Should I drag a little along my lash line? Building it over what we did before. Kind of hugging the waterline. Not exactly getting in the waterline, but hugging the waterline. This is all drama. I love it. Now, the other thing that as a hooded eye person you should do is use a kind of shader brush. We have two sizes. We have a small one and a large one. I guess we could go with the larger of the two and then get some kind of shimmer color onto the inner 2/3 of that lid, right? You want to think about eventually marrying it into the outer corner colors, but what shimmer or glitter shall it be, right? If we're in a maroon latte butterfly fantasy place and we've got that very deep maroon liner color, what will flatter the set of colors we have on there? We have this gold, we have a rust, and we have this Godfather shade, and we also have some calmer shimmers, a pink one, and this one called God Mom, right? These are more neutral. The gold is very gold. We're not going out at night. This rust one is kind of calling my name. And then Posse is purple. Let's see, should we be bold or should we go for, since we're wearing something neutral? We could do God Mom, right? Which is a shimmer, or we could do, let's mess with the shimmer. I'm kind of feeling the shimmer. Let's see what the formula is like. Take a firm brush in there. It's kind of wet. I don't know what kind of color payoff we're gonna get, so let's kind of rake across. We got it on our brush, and then we're gonna pat it across the inner 2/3 of our lid. Right? Getting it on there above that liner. Let's do it again. doesn't seem to need a primer. It doesn't seem to be falling out badly. But it's that inner 2/3 of light reflection that's going to help open up and create an arresting look for our hooded eye. And we're going to leave that liner in place. Maybe intensify it a little bit, kind of in that halo eye place. And then we can come back and blend. We don't want to take it all the way up to the brow, but I think that's extremely pretty. It's subtle enough for day, but it could be exciting in nighttime candlelight as well. So other side, right? I don't hate the look of this without the shimmer and the glitter in the inner 2/3, but we're trying to follow the map that our friends at Sephora have suggested to us, and I've been really liking how this look turns out, as opposed to, you know, I feel like I watched Wayne Goss talk about hooded eye shadow placement yesterday, but you know, some of us, because of our ethnic heritage, have a more ethnically hooded eye. It's not because we're, you know, advanced in age, it's more because this is the way our eyes are built. And I think that when he was saying put a medium tone shadow all over your lid and he didn't do any kind of shimmer and it just kind of looked regular, right? We don't want to look regular. We don't want to spend an hour doing makeup and then end up looking regular. We want to look respectful, but kind of glamorous. We kind of want to amp it up a little bit. And, you know, we invest our time and money in doing this so that we can look, you know, like we're supposed to look. We're supposed to look dramatic and pretty and purposeful, right? We're not supposed to just look like it's a regular day and we're not really wearing makeup. We want to wear the hell out of some makeup, and we want the blend to be flattering, and we want the liner to be bomb. And I think we've achieved that. And when you turn your head, you see that shimmer working, and I think we have enough of a liner. Should we drag the same shimmer along the inner eyelash line? Maybe a little bit, just a little tiny bit, you know, other side. But look at the point on that inner corner flick. You know, I've definitely been developing my skills because I wasn't here before. Maddie Ziegler, I will be dipping into this palette again. You did something with this. I am not mad at all, right? Do we intensify this with a, I don't know, a mascara or a lash or anything of that sort? We did our brows. Maybe let's use a contour of some kind. And we promised that we were going to use a smaller brush than we did yesterday. So we actually washed that brush. But here is it says BM. What makeup brand is this? I don't know, but it's a very precise, angled, sharp brush. If we can get into a cream product of some sort and get our contour on, I think that would be very, very good. Here are some contours that are powder, and then these are these Covergirl True Blend contour palettes. This one's marked medium. This one might be light. I don't know. Any kind of label has escaped. So let's rock with this one because it looks like it might be dark enough to do a little something. We have to open it. We have our little copper tool, this really strange little sharp guy that may have come from a manicure kit. I'm not sure. But it's always the exact right thing to pop open. Hopefully. New products. Yes. And these shades are labeled bronze, contour, highlight. So, going over our face and trying to be thoughtful about where we are placing our product, right? The contour is the middle shade. So if we hold our mirror somehow, Luscious, I need your help. I'm no expert, but we get our brush into this middle shade, right? Get a mess of this stuff on there, right? And then look at our face. Think about the top of our ear, right? And the middle of our ear, and building that contour shade onto the cheekbone. And you can feel it, right? Not too low, right? Top of ear, middle of ear. There. Other side, right? It's dark enough to show, but not too dark, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, right? Building a line that comes out of there. On the cheekbone, under the cheekbone, middle of ear, top of ear, right? Coming forward. Then thinking about our hairline, wanting to shrink down that forehead. We might need some more product, right? Not too dark, but dark enough to look like contour. Something that shrinks down that forehead, that respects that 3, and then 3, and then 3, bottom of ear along the jaw, right? Is it dark enough? We're finding out. Along the jaw, right? It's not exactly a cool tone shade. Along the jaw, our tiny earrings from Target, tiny and delicate and feminine earrings, and we're trying to build a tiny and delicate and feminine face. We're trying to be like the people on Drag Race and really cancel out that double chin with contour, right? You're worried about having a line on your face, but from what I saw watching Drag Race yesterday, just random clips of arguments and whatnot, they really go ham painting that neck. Painting it down from the point, and then we can make some lines on the sides of the chin to emphasize the lightness of the chin and bring it forward, giving stronger structure to our face. It's like our face is there, but maybe our face isn't doing everything that it needs to do, makeup wise. We don't want to look regular. We want to look made up, right? So they say always move your contour product up, right? And this angle to this brush, when you flip it and it contours to that bone, you're moving it up. Now, is up or is up back towards your hairline? You can do a little bit of both, right? That eyeshadow is looking pretty and dramatic, right? And we can diffuse our cheek contour so that it's there and it's contouring, but maybe we're making it a little less bold. So getting a smidgen more of this contour shade on our brush. And really, I got my makeup done professionally in December by Glammed by Iggy, and he made very clear lines along the center of my nose. Not thick lines, not heavy dark lines, but they were very obvious when I looked in a mirror. But they did not show in photos, right? Connecting it to the brows. Is this shade as dark as we could have it? Not as dark, but is it dark enough? That's the question, right? Is this enough darkness for contour? That's the question, right? Some people counsel putting contour and bronzer and all of that into your eye area, but we used a very specific palette and we didn't want to do that, right? Thinking of that 3 shape that we should draw to contour, right? That's the bottom of the 3, that's the middle of the 3, and then this is the top of the 3, right? Are we shrinking that forehead? Are we creating dimension? Are we surrounding the brightness with a little bit of depth, right? Smoothing those colors together, emphasizing that cheek, right? That cheek, right? Not getting rid of it, but diffusing it. Same thing on the jaw. Diffusing that line with a firm but loving hand, right? Underneath the chin, diffusing that line along the jaw, but diffusing it so it doesn't look crazy. And what's nice about this mirror, I will try to remove the stickers. I've never used it really. Just been trying to go through my stash of things. It can sit on your table, and it can also, you can hold it in your hand, and it has sides. So you can kind of see more of what you've done on the side of your face and see what your, you know, eye makeup looks like and what your jaw contour looks like and how it connects to the skin underneath your chin. When you're looking forward, you can't really see all of that. And I think what's exciting about being on YouTube or any other apps is that when you're on camera, you're able to see how your contour looks, how it looks down your neck, how your double chin looks, how, you know, any of it looks, right? And think about what you want to look like, right? Think about whether you need a more intense contour on your nose, right? The highlight is kind of in the same brown family. You know, this, I assume, lighter palette, the contour shade is more gray and the highlight is brighter, but I don't know if that's gonna achieve a sharply contoured nose. If that's what we're trying to get to, you know, should we cheat and get into this eyebrow kit? Is this gonna give us the depth that we're looking for? Also from our friends at e.l.f. You know, should we put this contour brush aside and get into this, you know, there's a school of thought that says use your eyebrow pencil to contour your nose. So we could do that, or we could experiment with this eyeshadow. It's an eyebrow kit and it's cream products for your eyebrow, right? The mirror is quite cloudy. We need to do something about that, but maybe we can use the palette and then use this mirror since we can see more clearly. And we'll go for the darker shade of the two. See if that gives us a more sharp and obvious nose contour. Now the consistency of this is great. It's for the brow, so it's quite stiff and it's not gonna travel. But let's try stamping. Stamping a little line. And what I like about this is it does give you a nice sharp line. See that? Other line was pale and it was a little bit more broad. But yeah, what Iggy did was like two very close together straight lines down the middle of my nose, and it looked spectacular in photos, right? He didn't seem to do a lot of craziness on the sides of my nose, just in the middle. Does it straighten my nose? Does it, you know, what does it do exactly? But I feel like we have a pretty solid shape and line. Should we add a little bit to the cheek contour? Just getting in there. Make it a little bit darker, right? Other side, getting in there. We've diffused that kind of more toffee color, but we're getting in there with one clear line of that darker contour shade. Right? Is that making it heavy in a good way? Let's get that up onto the hairline, you know, dotting and brushing, just so that we're getting a real contour, a real something that's gonna show in a photograph or on a video recording. It's so hard not to say footage these days because it's not film. What do you think? Let's get it along the jawline. Uh-huh. 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 And as the people on Drag Race say, like really paint. Really paint out that double chin. You know, Luscious Massacre, we all struggle with our weight. Carbs are too good. Food is too good. Sleep is too good. But I believe in you. I think you're going to get to where you need to be for your health and your fitness and your performing goals. And, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. None of us get heavier than we want to be in a day, and it takes time to take it off. But I feel when I get distracted by things I'm trying to do and things I'm trying to be better at, like makeup, I can spend hours with my stomach growling because I am utterly occupied. Now, anxiety is different. You know, real mental health struggles don't make it any easier to cope with, you know, either food addiction or food. It's almost like a struggle with the quality of what you're eating, right? To eat for satisfaction and enjoyment is different than getting up and making a kale salad and, you know, doing that, which is, you know, it's more body maintenance and health. I want my skin to glow. I'm thinking about what I'm going to look like on camera in this, you know, strapless bra and this nude colored shirt. It's a different look than how elaborate Luscious Massacre's makeup looks are. But for me, you know, I'm trying to be proficient at this. So we thought we might experiment if we have some highlighting and we have some contour, right? Just checking the placement of it in our 3-panel mirror, right? From the front, our nose looks contoured. From the side mirror, our jaw looks like there's a nice shadow canceling out some kielbasa and what is it called? Bratwurst. I know the naughty things I've been eating. We might be able to blend this in a little bit better over here. You know, there are people who say, you know, if you can eat the volume of food you desire but make it vegan, that maybe that is something that will help ultimate weight control, right? And there are some delicious vegan options. I'm gonna shout from the mountaintop that Morningstar Farms vegan burger that has fake vegan cheese in it. I swear to you, not the bean one, not the, you know, other ones that are like, oh, okay, this one is actually good. If you eat one of those with like some really good bread, like from La Brea Bakery in Los Angeles, I'm sorry that you know, didn't have a more enjoyable time here in Los Angeles, but you can always come back. You know, it's not the end of the road for you or anyone, but the bread here can be spectacular because you do want the bread to be worth it. If you're gonna, you know, not, you know, be one of these people who's ordering low oil and, you know, no nuts, no cheese, no, you know, if you're not on that level, those 100-pound girls who, you know, there was a different moment in time where people were really, you know, striving to be 100 pounds or less, the Nicole Richies of the world. But here's our stippling brush from e.l.f. It's a small stipple brush. Let's get it a little damp. And then this leg and body makeup from Dermablend. Maybe we can get a little of it in our dish. I was just cleaning off the tip. Little bit of it in the dish. Let's not go too crazy, but you know, I'm always like, why do the tips of my products get so dirty? In any case, get the lid on and see if we can stipple this over this contour and highlighting. And the highlighting could be more extreme, but we're gonna make it do what it do. We have a little in our little dish from Daiso. Let's look at our face and then go over especially the points at which our contour meets the highlight areas and our jaw contour and the contour on the side, and just with our damp brush just try to stipple that on, go over the nose contour just to make it a little bit less obvious, right? Just as a little layer. This might be a pretty full coverage foundation. It does have SPF down on the neck, you know, just trying to marry this all together and make those contour areas and lines a little bit more subtle so that we can hopefully draw more attention to our beautiful eye, and then get on a slightly less intense brown liner and get our lip game going, and then hopefully be in a happy place, right? We want to look healthy, we want to look human. If we turn off our mirror light, that's not better. Just want to make sure that you can see me. So many times I'm just getting in my dish for the last bits of product, looking at that forehead, you know, trying to take out anything that doesn't look skin-like. I can see in daylight how pretty this eyeshadow combo is, and I'm a true believer when it comes to this shimmery inner 2/3 of the eye, right? You've got the liner there for strength and depth on the lash line. As I said, I'm trying to grow my lashes back and grow my nails back from the horror of glue and acrylics, and I'm guessing they used a similar glue on my lashes because they didn't come off for like a month. But it was for a music video, a project called Mr. Spicy that hasn't been completed yet because one of the performers got COVID and couldn't travel from St. Louis. So, you know, I did what I could, and we did some improv stuff around town, but we ended up getting spotted by a person who then rolled up on us when we were shooting in a cemetery, and he had seen us the day before, and it was really creepy. You know, when you're kind of doing guerrilla shoots and vlog out in public, you really have to be thinking about your safety, and you can be cordial to strangers, but you know, if someone's been seeing you and following you to not the most obvious places for 2 days, I was trying to get out of there. My colleague was, you know, I think different people have different attitudes about fame and infamy and notice from the public, and I didn't really see what we needed to be there for talking to that dude. So I wanted to get out of there. But in any case, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see the photos of like the 2-inch long acrylic nails and the lashes that were so long they touched my eyebrows. But if that is our moment of Dermablend leg and body makeup, marrying together the contour and highlighting, right? Setting off this eye makeup and this gentle shadow eyeliner, I'm not mad. So from here, should we do a cream blush from our friends at e.l.f.? Here's one called Tahiti. Is this too much color? Should we go paler? Here's one called Turks and Caicos. Let's give this a whirl. You know, listen, we've got the time. You know, there's no need for beer. I can't tell you how enchanted I am to have the time and the opportunity and the cooperation of my YouTube Live to get this makeup on and, you know, try to show just how badly we need Luschious Massacr to lead the way. If we use our same stippling brush and get it into our blush, twist it, and then grab our mirror that we put over here, right? Get that high on the cheekbones in a lifting gesture, right? Look at your face. Think about that hole that goes through to your teeth and build the color up from there. Once again, twist it in the product. Is that on the brush? Hopefully it is. Maybe the brush is too damp. Maybe we need a different, oh, I know what we can use. We can use our silicone sponge. Here's the product. Make it into a point. Stir it around in there. One thing, Luschious Massacr, I can't get with you on putting saliva on your brushes. I get that it's only your face. Oh yes, that looks very pretty. You know, again, we're playing with not going too dark. Not going too dark, not matching the depth of that liner with an intense blush, but really looking at our skin, looking at something that will, as a cream product, look kind of lit lit from within and look like the color could be emanating out of our face, not on our face like a powder, but really enhancing that cheekbone, going high, dancing up in an upward gesture. You know, not a lot of heaviness and volume down here on the cheek, but really building color near the eye, but on that cheekbone, going back into the hairline and not disturbing the product under. Now, millennials like to put the blush on the tip of the nose. I can't do it. I can do it across the nose. You know, I can get it on the nose, but I really don't know about the tip, because when I see Doja Cat do it, it looks a little odd. It looks like, you know, maybe you've been indulging in substances too much. It just does. It makes your nose look irritated, and I don't think that looks pretty. A lot of people do it. Maybe it'll grow on me, but I'm not there yet. But I do like this color, Turks and Caicos, because it's blush and it's pretty without being like a heavy line or a dark stripe, right? When you're getting it onto your forehead, some people say go above the arch of the brow. Some people say do it at the top of the forehead to kind of enhance your contour. There is an old school theory called draping, where you contour with blush. You split the difference, right? Split the difference, add back color. We haven't done a bronzing step, and I think that's okay. I think this looks pretty. I like the lightness of the inner corner shimmer. I like what's happening with our brows that are enhanced, but nothing crazy, right? Making sure we're brushing them and patting them back into place. You know, my brows want to do what they want to do. But yeah, I haven't found like the soap brow product from Revolution to be it for me. You know, if I could get something that would make this tail kind of lay where I want it so that it could enhance the lie of that extended tail, that would be ideal for me. But I haven't found the holy grail yet. You know, Luscious Massacre might know what that product is. Do I have to put eyelash glue in my brows? I feel like that would make my brows shatter, and I've already suffered casualties from glue, and that doesn't make me eager to go back in the glue route for my lash line or my nails. I'm really waiting for, you can see how my nails were abraded for them to attach the acrylics, and just made my nails thin and brittle. And I'm trying to be patient and show them love and oil them and eat kale and do everything I can so that I can get back to beautiful, right? Beauty is a struggle. It's about your health, but it's also about not damaging what you've got. And the acrylics looked amazing, and I know they were expensive, but you know, never again. I want to say never. I mean, if it was the right circumstance or the right project, obviously, but I wasn't too happy with that. That really did not make things better. I suffered losses because of that. But in any case, our friend Iman had a makeup line. I don't know if she still makes it, but we were lucky enough to get some of her liners on eBay, right? So there's one called Espresso, which is very intense. We used that one yesterday in yesterday's makeup tutorial. But today I think we're going to go slightly lighter with Cocoa, right? And get on a lip and a shape that hopefully will flatter this subtle, more daytime look. What do you think? So I don't tend to overline. I just like to ride the lip line, right? Build in a stronger side, right? A stronger, darker side, you know, and kind of cancel out where maybe foundation got on the lip. And other complexion products can make your lips look pale. Draw an X around your Cupid's bow, right? That little area in the middle. We'll line up the middle, line up the side. All these lines do is suggest the real architecture of lips, right? But this color of brown is not as intense as the other one, but I have to say these browns are not red browns. They are truly brown, right? We're gonna put it back to respect what we've been trying to do to organize our makeup so we can find it when we're doing this. I've gotten a couple of these L'Oreal Paris. One is I Create, one is I Rule, but I think the I Rule one, the applicator broke when I opened it. Yeah, that's not good. But this is slightly purple color, which my lips naturally do have a little kind of purple blue in there, but this one is a little bit more pinky, not exactly salmon or coral, but it's a nice sheer liquid lip, right? And if you get that on top of this brown liner, right, a little doe foot, right, and just tap that on, tap it between your lines. Try that, right? Between. Trying not to cancel out our liner, but to apply color, right? So if we're looking like that, maybe we can carefully mash it together as my nose runs. It's a little cold in here. And I did think to bring 1 square of toilet paper, Kirkland's Finest from Costco, because I do sometimes like to crumple it for eyeshadow application, right? So it still has that kind of like variation. Rub the lips together, right? Is that too much variation? Rub it a little bit more. Rub it back and forth. We still have our line, but now we've married those two colors together. I don't hate this product. That doe foot disappointed me, and the chill in the air is disappointing me, but I think from here we can get into a butter gloss and we're ready to rock, because we still do have a haul to do in the living room. So this is butterscotch, and butterscotch does us justice, right? If this is our lip is shaped, our lip is filled in with color, and now we just add a kiss of gloss in the center, rub that together, right? Not on the sides, in the middle. You want it to look juicy and attractive. You want to look ready for brunch. You want it to look ready for a date, a hike. Where would I be going in this shirt? Right now, I've just gone and done my makeup with this new palette with some exciting contour choices, right? I've contoured this jaw, tried to cancel out that double chin in the middle and on the sides, have it marry down into the color of my chest. You can see tan lines from, you know, the sports bra I wear while hiking, right? We have our hair up in a loose, protective style. Our hair is hip length now, and it's intact, right? You want your beauty treatments to enhance your looks. You don't want to sacrifice your lashes. You don't want to sacrifice your nails. You don't want to sacrifice your health on anything that you're doing to make yourself look more beautiful, right? Your makeup practice should be enjoyable. Your YouTube practice should be enjoyable. You have to find ways not only to make it enjoyable, but hopefully you're making a good living from doing it, and that you are contributing to the YouTube community with information and knowledge that you have. And I'm talking to you, Luschious Massacr, but I'm also talking to ShelbyE and to ChimePhilly. You know, all of this discussion is good and helpful. It shows the newbies among us kind of how it's done. You know, from adding lighting to, you know, making choices about wardrobe to, you know, making makeup choices that are pretty, that use every palette in a different way, you know, to making choices about how we're decorating and what time of day we're shooting at, how much light intensity we need, what color of light we could use. That's red, that's green, that's blue, that's, I don't know what that is, bright green? That is fuchsia, right? That is an electric blue. Oh, and that's a hot pink. But, you know, empowering ourselves with all of this knowledge, and, you know, certainly RichLux, Luschious Massacre, Joella Puz, other people who've been on this platform for longer than the rest of us, you are showing us the way. You are teaching us about structure. You're teaching us about how to integrate our other social media, how to, you know, pay attention and be an asset to this community, hopefully, and provide dialogue and feedback and views and clicks and likes in a way that makes this an exciting place, an interesting place, a place where the teacup is brimming, but, you know, not in a way that hurts people, and not in a way that, as Chime suggests, is any kind of manipulation or exploitation. You know, it's a line that you have to respect. Not that things don't go wrong, not that people don't do wrong, but, you know, I think there's room for everyone on the Good Ship YouTube, and certainly all of y'all have made it much more enjoyable and interesting for me. You know, the Helga the Hog story, listening to Lizeth talk about her girls trip, you know, my first encounters with, you know, the kind of freaky styling of Jeffree Star, the curious triangles of RichLux. It didn't make sense to me. You know, I do a lot more like soap opera, like cop show, detective, mom kind of performance, and, you know, the kinds of makeup that people do on YouTube, the beauty gurus, the makeup that you guys manufacture, Nikita Dragon, you know, it's all much more exciting and much more freestyle. And you know, I'm certainly here to learn and indulge and have fun, you know, when I don't have to be at work. And, you know, I just want to be here and support everyone in their YouTube journey, and support everyone in getting their coins, and, you know, raise questions and share critiques when the situation calls for it. So in any case, I need to hop into the living room and do this haul finally. You know, hopefully maybe I'll have some Vita Cup, either brain coffee or slim coffee, to perk myself up. But, you know, I am not unhappy with this look. I could add a lash, I could add mascara, but I'm really trying to let my lashes recover from all that glue, just like I'm letting my fingernails recover from all that glue. And if you have a recommendation for an eyebrow product which will stick my brows into place without being glue, let me know. Anyway, Tanya here, House of Tanya, signing off with my tiny little fingernails, but my very cute one shoulder nude top that I got at Marshall's for $6. I recommend, you know, anything you can do to enhance your life, enhance your beauty, enhance your wardrobe, look cute, look dramatic, you know, what is it? Get trade, or any kind of flattering, shall we say, romantic attention is a good thing, right? We're on this earth to be happy, be productive, and share. And I appreciate all of you guys for doing that with me. And I look forward to your next posts, and, you know, hopefully to getting better at doing my makeup and styling here on my House of Tanya channel. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, peace out.